Well, we're back working on this today. We've done a lot of welding on it. I've got one more plate to put on this left inside frame rail. I've got a plate on the inside of the frame rail on the right hand side. We've got that all in and welded. Now, it would have been ideal if we had a piece of angle iron that went clear down to the bottom. However, we didn't have anything that was that long. The other thing we could have got away with is just putting 1/2-inch plate or 3/8 plate on either side of the tube, but the angle iron, what that allowed us to get everything straight. We could have clamped the angle iron on, welded our inside rail on, and then we could have maybe worked it that way. But the angle iron's going to add a little bit more strength. I couldn't put an angle iron on the bottom just because of the perch for that axle. So there's a few of us working on this today. I went and got some plate this morning, and that's what Sarge is cutting up now. I've got an inner plate to go on this left-hand frame rail. It's cut out for the tie rod, and then we'll put a strip along the bottom on each side. Underneath the box itself, the chain returns on this piece of poly. We had to go ahead and raise this stuff up too because we laid that angle iron over the top of the frame. That's 3/8 of an inch thick. We're gonna have to put scabs on the frame all the way up through. Well, we have to put scabs on the frame all the way up through to raise the box, and we have to put flat stock strips on the cross members to raise this up 3/8 of an inch as well. As long as we got the hoses unhooked, I've got, Jason's putting new hoses on it as he goes. He actually went to get some fittings now because we had run ourselves clear out. So I don't know if we're gonna get this thing done by tonight or not, but we're working diligently, ain't we, Nathan?
You want Jason to go back over there?
Yeah, if they've got them.
They've only got 8.5 and 10.
Get 10s. Yeah, we're ordering some new bolts here. So Jason went to get some fittings, and he's gonna grab some bolts too. Nate's on the phone with them. So we're supposed to get a big snowstorm here. We could get upwards of 12 inches of snow, maybe 18 inches of snow. And the boys are hauling manure. So, this is what the weather currently looks like right at the moment. Hopefully we don't get that much snow, but it's looking like that's gonna happen. What do you got wrong? Blew an airline? Oh, these damn trucks. Damn. Well, Jared's got a blown airline. Where's that go? Does that go back to the airbags, or does it supply the tank? That's tank supply. Air dryer? Air dryer supply. Fun stuff. Oh, well. It's a good thing one of you guys didn't buy this truck. You'd be broke down right now. So, oh well. Well, we better get back to it. Alright, we're going to interrupt you for a brief moment. At the time of viewing this video, or when I released this video, Olight was having a sale, or they are currently having a sale that's going on right now. I've told you before, they send me stuff from time to time, and they sent me some stuff here a couple weeks ago, And I already showed you guys what it was, and I wasn't supposed to show you. I was supposed to wait until this sale was going on. So we're just kind of bringing that up to you now. I know I get the question once in a while, what are the lights that I currently use? I have a Baton S1R something or other. This is the light here that I clip to my hat. I also have a Seeker 3 that I carry on my hip. It has a plastic case. I told you about that a couple weeks ago. You can get these right on their website. Click on the link in the description. That'll take you right to their sale that's going on. A couple of the items that they have featured is this goober. This is like a pocket clip. You could use it as a warning light. I mean, it blinks all different colors. And, you know, if you're walking the side of the road or something, you can clip this in your pocket and back of your hat, what have you. Another light that they sent me during this sale is this Arcfeld UV. It's basically looks the same as the Arcfeld. This is a laser. This one has a laser on it. I've showed this to you guys before. It also has a work light on it. This one has a regular pocket clip, and it works nice sliding in your front pocket. The clip only works one way. You can't clip it to your hat. However, this UV light here, this one has the reversible clip. So you can put this one on your hat brim if you so choose to do it. It will work. It's not that handy. I wouldn't advise using it for that, but if that's what you're going to carry, that'll work for that. They also have some knives here. I don't use the knives. The knife I use, the ones I like to use, is just a regular knife that's got a razor blade on it and a regular jackknife. These S1Rs is the ones they're selling now is a Baton 3, and you can get them, or you can get a chargeable case that kind of looks like a Zippo lighter. Just to show you a couple of things here. Another light is this pen light. This has a couple of AA batteries in it. All these other lights have a USB magnetic charger that you can just clip on the bottom, and they last forever. So enough of the shilling. We're going to get back to things here. We're going to get this sand truck finished up. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. The sale's only going on for a few days, so we will get right back into the video here. So thanks for listening to me here. Olight kind of got mad at me for showing you guys this stuff a couple weeks ahead of time. So back to the video. Well, we're into the next morning. We're hoping to finish this unit up here today. There really isn't much more to show you than what we showed you in the last clip here. But I'll show you how much snow we got. We were supposed to get over 12 inches of snow, and this is how much snow we have. So they ended up closing school for today. They closed school last night, and well, that's Andrew there, the 8320. He's just gonna go and clean the little bit of snow out of the driveway that we've gotten so far, and I'm gonna get started feeding cows. So I ended up getting the fuel pumps that I ordered. They dropped them off here last night. And being that the F350 isn't going to go to school today, maybe we can get this one mounted on the F350 and get these other ones where they need to be. But you can see the top of this pump is twice as thick as what the blue pumps were. So why don't we go ahead and get started feeding here. So we'll use this rock saw to get up to the commodity shed. I know I had somebody ask in one of these videos what the heck this thing was. Somebody assumed that it was a Jeep. Now this was an open ROP unit. We ended up putting a soft cab on it. I put it on last year or the year before. We'll go around this way here. We'll show you what the LED lights look like on the 8320. So he's just scratching the ground here for the milk truck. My brother did a little bit with his, he's got a plow on a Jeep Gladiator truck, and then we've got a snow pusher on the backhoe. Milk truck already grabbed one load of milk, and then they'll be back here in a little while to grab another load. But as you can see, we've got hardly no snow, and they say it is going to start snowing a little heavier towards 6 a.m. this morning. It's just shortly before 3 right now, and there isn't much for you guys to see, so this is where we're going to leave you off for a little bit here. Maybe once we get a little daylight, we can join back up with you here. But it is dark and you can't see nothing here. Well, that's the last little bit on these first couple loads. We'll go ahead and feed these off, and then we'll come back and load them again. Well, we are just about done feeding. We were anticipating on having a lot of snow here this morning, and we figured that Jared and Andrew would be plowing snow all morning just so I could get the cows fed. Well, we only needed to have Andrew plowing, and Jared's been helping me feed, so we're almost done feeding. And it was 30 years ago today that we got a pretty good snowstorm. It was back in '93, and I vaguely remember that day. Our first bunk we built in '92, and all we had in that bunk was corn silage. Back then, all we had to load feed with was a skid steer and a 158 John Deere loader on a 4430. We couldn't get to the bunk to feed corn silage, so all we fed was haylage, high moisture corn, and grain. And the 4430 that was on the bucket loader, all that did was plow snow. We had to pile manure back then. We ended up just plowing a spot actually right where the shop is now. We just made some walls with the snow, and we piled manure there for a couple of days, and we just cleaned it up quick and spread it out on the fields. This day and age here, we wouldn't survive too long if we weren't able to get to the corn silage bunk. Of course, we've got bigger equipment now, with 3 loaders, a couple telehandlers, blades on tractors and backhoes and what have you, but back then we just didn't have the equipment that we have today. We didn't need it. We're only milking like 100 and I don't know, maybe 140 cows back then, 125 to 140 cows and a tie stall barn on the other side of the road. And all we had for a bunk back then was a 30 by 140, I think it was. We don't use, well, we do use them bunks now still. We pile tires in the first bunk that we built, which was 30 feet wide, and then the other bunk alongside it was 40 feet wide. And we pile pen pack / box stall manure in it. The snow is starting to pick up a little bit, and they're talking at 6 o'clock this morning that, you know, it's really going to come in at the heaviest. So we'll have to keep Andrew around plowing snow. The other morning, Jared, he came in to help me feed, and we had to switch tractors on the mixer wagons. We had a PTO fail on 7710, so we ended up putting 7720 on it. We either have a solenoid valve that's bad on it, or the air gap sensor that detects the PTO movement. Either one of them is bad. So we've got to address that, and we'll see what this storm brings us. But that storm back in '93, that that was 30 years ago, it would be something if we ended up getting a lot of snow today. And they're talking that we could receive 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it's not the snow at that point that's the problem. It would be the wind. And so far it's been pretty calm, so let's hope we don't get the amount of snow that they're telling us that we're gonna get. So we'll get feeding down here, and we'll get back into the shop. It'll be a nice day to be inside, I guess, if it's snowing heavily. So we'll touch base with you in a while here, I guess. Well, we have this. I'm going to say we, because we got Nate, Lukens, Sarge, Jason. We're all part of this project here. And Tim, he had to run after some parts here and there, but he's home making a stew, isn't he? Yeah. So Jason has replaced all the hoses on the back. Sarge and Nate ended up working on getting that panel that the chain returns on. Ended up getting that raised. Lukens helped with that too. And we've got the framework done. So we had our engineering department ended up asking why we didn't plug weld that piece of angle iron that we put on there. Do you know why we didn't plug weld it? Yeah, not needed. The reason why you would do that would be if you didn't have anything else on the other side, maybe just a flat plate on either side, you would drill some holes and secure this to the scab of a tube that was left in there. We didn't need to do that. We are welded on the top inside of this leg on the angle iron. We're welded here. We put another scab in here. We welded underneath all the way down through. We cap this tie rod nook, and we've got everything all put together. It would have been ideal to have had a piece of angle iron 4 by 12 and have cut off 1.5 inches or so. 10-inch wouldn't do it because it would come to here. I guess 10-inch would work. So we're gonna go ahead and roll this axle in underneath it here. And we might have a little bit of a problem with this transfer case hitting on that inside frame rail. We might have to grind some of that down because that was rubbing. However, we think it was rubbing because the frame was all bent and twisted. The other thing, the reason why we use the angle iron and didn't use just scabs of flat bar plate on the outside and the inside, we needed the angle iron to help us get it straight. Now we could have took it off and put the plates on, but once we let the angle iron go, it probably would have twisted itself a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and put this camera down, roll that axle in, get it bolted up, and we can get the wheels on, maybe throw some paint on here and get it out the door. The boys are working on the 8320 engine here. The guy that did the machine work, what did he leave behind? A wrist pin? Yep. So we lack a wrist pin, so he might be out of luck here in a little bit because we're getting a pretty good snowstorm right now. So I need to put the camera down and we need to get this axle pulled into place, and it is slowly coming underneath, which looks very nice. Yeah, we're gonna have to move them jack stands out of the way, that's all. Right? Or no? No? Okay, I need to put the camera down. Yeah. That's decent. You guys want to go up at the same time. Maybe we'll get it halfway up in the air. We can hook up a couple of lines. All right, we got this all bolted into place here. We've got all of our hydraulic lines hooked up. They're just tightening that other side. We'll run things. We'll make sure that the tie rods aren't going to hit. I cut out a little bit more. I think I left a little bit more room than what I need to have to allow for that. Once we run everything and make sure we don't have any leaks, then we can let the bed back down onto the frame. I've got to weld this saddle for the rear on both sides. Then we can put our wheels and driveline in and kick this out the door. So the boys are working on this engine here. They've got 4 pistons in, and he's going to be able to do 5, and then he's going to have to sit still because he doesn't have a wrist pin for number 6. So he's getting everything in place there. Junior's helping and learning as he goes. Yeah. Well, alrighty, let's get this thing finished up. I've been tired of being covered in sand and oil and everything else here. So we'll be glad to have this done. You see that gusset's bent? It's bent. After we put that axle in and tightened it up, it bent that. It bent that gusset. You see that?
I'm the one that grounded. I knew it was bent from the beginning.
Oh, so somebody bent it with a sledgehammer then.
Yeah, I got hungry yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh, because I'm probably going to get a comment or 3 about that being bent.
Or you tell them lick your balls.
Yeah. Oh, we probably shouldn't have used it. The integrity of it has been diminished by 72%.
Yeah, it's been heated and everything.
Oh, it's been heated.
Yep.
And you
It's
can
not
see the
pliable.
purple, yeah, you can see the purple in it, you know?
I'll show you.
Are you double nutting or triple nutting? Triple nutted? You're triple nutted. Yeah. We're putting the extra nuts on there so that when we take this apart in 6 months, when we're redoing this frame again. Do you think we'll have to redo this again, Nate? Nate's not having it. I said we're putting extra nuts on there so that the threads will be good when we take this thing apart in 6 months to redo that. Do you think we'll have to redo it?
Yeah.
Do you think so? Yeah, I think so too. So, alrighty. Alright, we're just checking for leaks now. And jump right in there and run it forward. We don't have the drive shaft hooked up. Oh, wait a second. Alright, engage it and then get ready to shut it off or something. Just checking for aero leaks. Alright, is that forward? Is that forward? I think it's in forward. Alright, go in reverse. Alright, I think we're in good shape. We don't have no oil leaks. I was not looking forward to dealing with any kind of oil on the floor. So we're gonna go ahead and put the wheels on. Actually turn it. Well, maybe we shouldn't do that because it might pull the frame off the jack. So we better put the wheels on it and try turning it after the wheels are on and it's down on the ground. So we're gonna get the wheels on now and then we'll get it down off the jacks, turn it to the stop each way and make sure our tie rods aren't hitting, and then we can set the box down. I gotta weld the pieces on that hold the box down in the back, and then we can get everything bolted down here. And I gotta throw some paint on this, but I can do that after we have the wheels on there. So we'll join up with you in a few seconds here. All right, we got it down off the jacks. What we're gonna do now is we're going to make sure that the tie rods don't hit. Go ahead. Huh? You have it on 4-wheel steer? All right, go ahead. Keep going. All right, go the other way. Are you good? Stop right there. Just misses. Alright, yeah, we are just clearing that. Okay. So, what we've got to do now is we've got to center the axle because they're not clocked with each other. And then I've got to weld them supports on there and put the drive shaft in. Alright, now we are we fully miss both ways. Okay, so he's got the steering in time And we can now go ahead and install the drive shaft. One other thing that we have to do, you can shut that off, Jay. One other thing that we have to do, we ended up raising the whole bed 3/8 of an inch. And I have to add 3/8 of an inch to this mounting tab here. So we're gonna torch that out on both sides, and then I'll have to weld a washer on the front and the back. So, yeah, and then we'll throw some paint on it. Well, we are down to the last little bit here. I just got done welding the saddle on the rear part of the frame. We had to cut that off so that we could get in there and do what we did. I threw a little primer on there. I got to throw some paint on yet, and I do need to double nut that 3/4 inch bolt that's sitting through that saddle. We've got one other thing left to do. We'll show you that in a minute here. We'll just kind of walk over to this other side here. I've turned the wheel each way so that I could get some primer on it. And we're just about done. Now you see a little bit of oil on the floor. We topped off the transfer case, which the transfer case is mounted on the front of the differential. So we topped that off, and we topped off both axles. So what we have left to do here is we have the cylinder mount up front. On this conveyor, we can tip this conveyor back and forth. If you want to throw it far, if you want to throw it far to the left, you lift that side up, and to the right, you lift the right side up. What we have to do is we have this cylinder that hooks to the conveyor. Now the conveyor is part of the truck frame. However, the cylinder is hooked to the sand bed itself. So being that we raised the sand bed up 3/8 of an inch, we have to allow for that by adding 3/8 of an inch to this bracket here that's hooked to the conveyor. Now what I was going to do is I was going to cope that hole out, make it 3/8 of an inch bigger up top here. Then I would have an egged out hole, and what I was going to do is just weld on a couple of tabs with a 5/8 hole in it, and we'd be all good. But that involves extra work. So what I've decided to do, I've got this piece of angle iron here, and we're just going to cut them tabs off, butt weld them onto this angle iron, weld that angle iron on there, and everything is going to be good. We don't have to drill any steel, and it'll go together a lot faster. We'll just rip that off with a zip wheel, zip zip, and we'll just weld that angle iron right on there, and we'll show you how we do that here in a minute. But we'll have to get that cut off first, and then I can throw some black paint on while I'm waiting, or the paint could be drying while we're doing that. So let's go ahead and get to it here. right, we've got this all done. I've got this cylinder tab moved up 3/8 to 1/2 inch. So that's going to work good. That cylinder is all the way up in the air, and of course that's shooting high to the right side. We went around, splashed a couple of paint, splashed some paint on the spots where we had added iron to the sand truck. It's not the prettiest paint job in the world. I do have to maybe hit it with another coat here in the morning, but that's what it looks like right now. Does need another coat. You'll see a little puddle on the floor there. And that is, you just see a drip fall down. That's the transfer case. I showed it to you here a second ago. I thought maybe they just spilled a little bit when they filled it, but it has a pinion seal. That is leaking, so we'll have to get that fixed. I ordered one from Mensch, and that'll be here in a day or two. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. We bed cows on Mondays. Today is Tuesday, and we should be able to use this tomorrow. Bedding cows. It took a little longer than I thought it should have, but it's a lot of goofy work crawling in and underneath this sand truck. I don't know how many times I crawled underneath there to do various things, and I'm glad that this job is done. So Jared and Andrew, they left here a little while ago. I think Jared has got, well, he's got 5 of the pistons in it, but he lacks that one wrist pin. Oh, he's got the oil cooler on there. I don't know what else he's done to it. I know Andrew was cleaning out the oil pan, which is part of the actual tractor frame. So if anything else, he should be able to get back on this late tomorrow afternoon. They do have to haul some manure, and we'll kind of show you what winter looks like outside. So we got, I don't know, 6, 8 inches of snow, and it looks rather miserable out there. So with that being said, that is gonna do it for this video. I'm glad this job is done. I want to roll into getting some corn planters worked on now, and then we can maybe have time to build a silage box or two. So that is going to do it, folks. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you at the next one. If you got any interest in any of this Olight stuff, check them out on the old internet here. Click on the link in the description. They've got a lot of nice items. Another item that I forgot to show you is this Olight pen, which I carry with me all the while. You can see how the paint is kind of wore off of it. It does have a light on it. I don't know what purpose the light would serve you, but maybe if you were in the dark looking for something, you'd be able to find it with that light. So that is going to do it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you at the next one.